But let's get right to the Raritan Bay Medical Center Jersey Newsmaker hotline, because it's not every day that you get a world-class rock star check it in on this show. And I'm so excited to welcome my special guest who's going to join me in just a few moments. Brand new book that is out called Stick It. He's got a bunch of book signings coming up in Jersey. And we'll give you some details about a very special event that involves WCTC. So let me welcome in the great Carmine Appice to the show this morning. Carmine, it is Burt Barron. How are you, my friend? Great to talk to you.
I am good. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I got to admit, I'm a little nervous when I get to talk to a world-class rock star like you, man, and I'm so excited to have you on the show today. And when they said, Carmine will do 8:30, I'm like, there's no way a rock star is getting up this early for me. But thank you for the time this morning, man.
I'm in Central Time. It's actually 7:30.
Oh, man, bless you. But thanks again. The book is fantastic. It is called Stick It, My Life of Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll. Why now, Carmine? Why was now the time to put this book out?
Well, it just ended up being the timing of it. You know, I started this book in 1982, I believe, when I was on tour with Ted Nugent, And I basically read stories onto cassettes, and over the years, I kept putting it on the back burner, until about 2011. I had a bunch of stories written down. I had a bunch of different writers, write with me to get it. And then I did an interview on VH1 Books and VH1 Radio, and they said, well, you got some great stories. You could release a book. I said, well, I have a book I'm writing. And they said, well, let's have a meeting, for VH1 Books. So I did. It went really good. They liked the book and the ideas, but they didn't like the writing. So they hooked me up with this writer that wrote the book, Ian Giddens, who wrote Nikki Sixx's book. And he was a tremendous writer, So we started from scratch again. Scratch meaning I had 125 pages of manuscript from the tapes. And then we did interviews. I did interviews in London. I did 4 days in Madrid interviews. Then he came to New York. I took him around Brooklyn, everything, we talked about in the book. So he had a good description of what everything looked like. We went to Coney Island. We went to my church. We went to my 2 houses I lived in Brooklyn. And, then I met him more in London. And then we did Skype and interviews on Skype. And it took a year and a half,
Yeah.
And when we started it, by the time we started it, VH1 Books went out of business. So we ended up, it would have been out earlier. It would have been probably a year and a half early. But then we got a new deal last June with the Chicago Review Press and another one in the UK, and we started working on editing it, designing the cover, and and that took a while. So and it just came out yesterday.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on it, man. I cannot put
Thank
this
you.
down. I just started reading it the other day, and it's like I'm carrying it with me around everywhere so I can sneak in a chapter here and there.
Wow, great.
Just a guy growing up in Brooklyn, growing up there, an Italian family, and trying to make ends meet, and you had this passion for music that, man, look at where you've taken this. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. And, and being in Brooklyn, a lot of guys were running around with mob people and ended up being in the mob, some of them got killed, some of them are in jail now for murder. And I believe that the music really saved me from that kind of life as well,
Yeah. The book, again, is called Stick It, My Life of Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll by Carmine Appice, who's my guest this morning. You heard it's available now. You can go to his website. You can shop for the book right there, but you want to get your hands on this. Covered in the book, Carmine, there's a section where you talk about an encounter with Prince. You've crossed paths with a lot of people, of course. Prince just suddenly passing away recently. Can you talk a little bit about your encounter with Prince?
Yeah. Well, basically, it was really an easy, simple thing. Not really, but I was getting divorced, and I needed a place like a base of operations. My ex-wife was living in my house, my big house, until we sold the house. So then I needed a place. So my friend Jamie worked with Cavallo Ruffalo Farnelli, which was a big management company that I was involved in. They were doing a solo album for me, and Jamie was having some financial problems, so she needed some help in order to catch up with her payments so she wouldn't get foreclosed on, So I bought into the house, and she said, I could have this bedroom, but sometimes Prince, this new act they have, comes in and stays there at the house. If that's okay. I said, yeah, that's okay, because I had a new girlfriend at this time. I was staying in her house, and I was also staying in, going on the road with Rod still and everything. So it was not a big deal. So when I met Prince, it was before I believe he was working on his first album, and and I thought he was a real shy guy. And here, I'm like 6 feet tall, 180 pounds at the time, and I was like a bit overbearing for him, and he would be. I'd come home and he'd be in the living room listening to some music, and I go, "Hey, Prince, is that you? Is that your stuff?" And he go, "Yes." Wow, that sounds really good. Did you write it? Yes. Everything was like a one word.
Right.
So we got to be friends somewhat, So after I started getting to know him, he asked me to drive him to Hollywood. I had a Pantera at the time, so I took him in my Pantera, and I think I scared the heck out of him. And, and then we got to know each other better. And one time we played the Coliseum with the Rolling Stones, got booed off the stage, and he was really upset when he came home. And me and Jamie sat with him and talked to him. And I told him Vanilla Fudge got booed off the stage and everything. And it went on. I moved out. My life went on. I went to see him play when he started getting successful. I couldn't believe it was the same guy. It was just amazing on stage.
Wow.
He was wearing women's underwear. That's crazy.
Wow. Great story. In the book, Stick It by Carmine Appice, just filled with all kinds of celebrities he's met. His story, which is just incredible. And if you really one of the great rock drummers of all time, whether it's Alex Van Halen, anybody that has sat behind a kit, Carmine has said that you're the guy who influenced them, which is a real special thing for you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when I grew up, I just wanted to be a famous drummer, like Jim Krupa.
Yeah.
He was my idol, and it ended up, being that way, and I was lucky. I'm blessed. I was really lucky that I came out at the time when everything was new in rock, everything was virgin. In that 1967 era, Vanilla Fudge and The Who and Cream and Jimi Hendrix and, all that stuff was brand new.
Great time for creativity in the music scene, right? There were no rules, man. It just, whatever worked was it.
I created these oversized drums that, became like a sort of like a staple in rock in the way I played. Which I did out of necessity, became a staple in rock, It was like, wow.
Yeah, definitely a trailblazer. When we lost you, Carmine, we gave the appearances, but let's go through them again. I want to make sure people come on out and see you and make sure they pick up a copy of your book. The first one is this coming Saturday. You're going to be at the Barnes & Noble on Route 22 West in Springfield, New Jersey. That's a book signing that's going to be happening. Philadelphia on May 9th at the Barnes & Noble on Walnut Street. May 10th, you're doing a storytelling, a book signing, and a concert at the Cutting Room. You've played that room before, right?
Yeah. Well, I never really played it as an artist. I jammed there.
Nice. All right.
My girlfriend did the Gong Show there every month, so I'm quite very familiar with it.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And then moving on, this is the big one. Thursday, May 12th, a book signing at the Sea Caucus Public Library, which is on Patterson Plank Road. And you're going to be joined by a good friend, a common friend that we have, John D'Amore, who's the author of The Boss Always Sits in the Back. How did you meet John D'Amore? How did you guys get together?
I don't even remember. I've known him. I met him years ago in L.A., and we've been email buddies, and he always got to wanted me to go see a couple of shows in L.A. about John Lennon and all that. I never got to go, but we kept in touch and everything. And then he wrote me about his book, and I love mafia books. I love those stories. So he gave me I actually downloaded his book, and read it on my phone. And then he gave me a real copy. And so we've been in touch over the last few years, and then when he heard my book was coming out, he said, "Hey, look, I'm doing this appearance. Maybe you'd like to do it together." I said, "I never did that, but it would be interesting."
Yeah, it's good.
He said he's done it before, and he said it'd be really interesting to do it with two people. So,
yeah, we're gonna have.
And I don't read. I don't read from the book. My thing is more storytelling, a Q&A.
That's beautiful.
And a little entertainment. I did the first one yesterday here in Chicago area.
Uh-huh.
And it went well. We sold a bunch of books, and It was a lot of fun, actually, telling the stories to a live audience,
Yeah, it's going to be a great night. Again, it's Thursday, May 12th, beginning at 7 o'clock. Secaucus Public Library. WCTC is going to be there, too, Carmine, so I'm real excited to be there with you guys. Oh, my God, I'm so excited.
You're going to have a van there?
We are. The famous red van is going to be in Secaucus on the 12th, and we're going to have so much fun. You will be there telling your stories. John D'Amore, author of The Boss Always Sits in the Back, he'll be there, too. And it's going to be just a great night. We want to invite everybody.
Where are you guys located? 'Cause I do my recording and a lot of work in the TKL Studios in Hohokus.
Okay, yeah, we're a little south of that. We're in New Brunswick.
Oh, okay. Oh, New Brunswick. That's where the State Theater is.
Yeah, that's right. You've played the State Theater before?
Yes, we did. It was awesome. Beautiful building.
Yeah.
Really nice theater, too.
Awesome. Well, it'd be great to see you back there someday, man. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Cool
stuff. If you can make the May 10th thing, you'll have a lot of fun because we have a lot of special guests coming in to play. Like Mark Hudson is going to do some singing, Pepe Castro for the Blues Magoos. And,
wow.
I'm trying to get Paul Schaefer down there to play Keep Me Hanging On with us. Yeah.
Hey, when Carmine Appice calls, you better answer and you better get down there and play. So he better know what's going on.
But, we're going to have horns and a really great band.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, good stuff, man. Again, Thursday, May 12th, the one in Secaucus with John D'Amore and Carmine Appice and WCTC will all be there. We'll put some information on Facebook, and we'll get a huge crowd that night, and we're going to have so much fun. But, Carmine, congrats with the book, man. I've read a lot of rock autobiographies and biographies. So far, this is the best one I've ever read, man. And congratulations and lots of luck with it.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. We tried to keep it really accurate and honest and everything like that. And, give us a quote, man. We could use it.
Yeah, you will get one from me. I love the book. And, Carmine, I can't wait to see you on May 12th. And thanks again for the time this morning, all right?
Thank you.